Hello there YouTube, how the devil are we today? In this video I wanted to do something a little bit different from the normal sort of No Man's Sky news. I wanted to actually talk a little bit about the actual fan community itself. Now I've been gaming for 25 years or so, and in all that time I can honestly say I've never found a more engaging and friendly bunch of fellow gamers. The amount of information they've collected and gathered is staggering. Anytime a small amount of information is released or any new video footage comes out, there are all manner of YouTubers, forums, fan news sites pouring over, analysing and dissecting that information for the benefit of the whole community. It really is hugely appreciated by any fan. Now in the past we've often heard the phrase, I like No Man's Sky, but what do you actually do in the game? Well, to be honest, I don't think anyone can really say that anymore. There's that much information out there to explain exactly what you do in the game. Yes, we haven't seen everything that you do in the game. Hello Games have not, had that as a secret, that they want certain things to remain unknown until we get our hands on the game. But I think really, if you don't know by now what there is to do in No Man's Sky, and what you'll be doing on a daily basis, if you like, you're likely to be someone very, very new and only just sort of dipping your toe in the water of No Man's Sky. And this is really the purpose of my video, is more of a general guide to the sites and channels that I've found to be the most useful, certainly since I've been following No Man's Sky. And the amount of information out there has grown massively since I started following over a year ago now. Now, this isn't meant to be an exhaustive list of sites and communities and channels by any stretch of the imagination. There are many, many, many out there. This is purely the sites, the groups, the channels that I personally have found really useful, the ones that I watch or I read or I comment in. It's not designed to show everybody, oh, look at how much I know about the community. It is purely here to point people in the direction of the sites, to enhance their knowledge, and allow people to join in with this community. It might be very daunting. New people come into No Man's Sky. Where do we begin? Where's the best site that I need to go to find out the basic information that I need? And that's what this video is designed to show. Well, first off, let's start with the YouTube channels, and how can we not possibly start with the YouTube channel run by the person whose site I've visited more often than anybody else's, and that's that of Cobra TVs. Not only has Cobra had a shout out from Sean Murray a few months back, which was really good, his enthusiasm and his ability to produce videos, meaningful videos as well, during periods where there is frankly no information being released around, new information anyway, around the game, is absolutely amazing. The production quality of the videos is fantastic. I genuinely enjoy watching them. He actively engages with his viewers. He runs his subcasts on Twitch TV, which basically where he invites fans of No Man's Sky onto his show, and they just talk about No Man's Sky. Whatever's on their mind, they talk about. If it's No Man's Sky related, he's happy to cover it. He then records that subcast, and then he uploads that onto his YouTube channel as well, so you can watch it back. It's really good, and he's one of the sort of the YouTubers I really like for getting that engagement with his viewers. Well, next on my list is Syrian Gaming. Syrian's channel is one I've watched almost as much as I have Cobra's. His videos are really informative. They concentrate on bringing you the facts, and are especially good when a new official video is released, be it from Sony PlayStation, IGN, Hello Games themselves. Syrian covers it really, really well. It's clear. It just brings you the facts that you need. He's really, really good. So I would again recommend anybody to visit his site as one of the first sites they choose to go to for any information they want about any element really of No Man's Sky. Syrian's pretty much covered it all by now. The other channels I really like are channels from Elka. Elka is a German YouTuber, so his videos are mostly in German, but Elka is normally the person within the community, via Twitter or whatever medium he uses, that brings us that news first. If he spots something in a video that the rest of us, we might have all have watched the video, but Elka will almost invariably spot something in the video that other people haven't spotted, and he's usually the first to bring that information to us. He's absolutely invaluable for that. Like I say, I've not watched many of his YouTube videos because they're in German. If you're a German speaker, then I can think of nobody better to watch on YouTube than Elka. I also watch the channels of No More Shadows, Just Jared and Orbit TV. All of these have a considerable number of videos now, even though some of them are quite new. The rate at which they churn out their videos is really good, and it's not just they're not just churning out videos for the sake of churning out videos. They have really good, useful information for the whole community to enjoy. Their production qualities again are really high quality, as in fairness most of the YouTubers are. Considering that these are people just at home, they don't a lot of the time have massively expensive recording equipment that that big players would have. People like IGN will have a proper really good production broadcast quality equipment, and most of the YouTubers don't have that. They have a reasonably decent microphone, a pop filter, and then some kind of video editing software. So all of these people are really good, really high quality, considering the tools that we're all kind of working with. There are some smaller channels as well which I enjoy watching. Outer Edge Gaming, No Man's Marv, my own channel. We're quite small channels. We're growing, hopefully. Well, in the case of mine, I hope mine's growing. We're all just really here to bring you that information. And really, I think certainly from my perspective, we're setting up our channels in a way for the actual release. I know, speaking from personal experience, my channel really is dedicated to me actually showing you the worlds in which I explore, rather than bringing you, in my case, a huge amount of new information, because there are vastly better sites than mine, vastly better channels that do that. So apart from YouTube, if you're not into watching YouTube videos, or you just want a bit more information, and a bit more engagement, if you like, with the community, what other forums have you got really? Well, you have exactly that. You have forums and you have websites. Probably the biggest community site out there is the No Man's Sky the Game subreddit on the Reddit site. It's massive. It has over 47,000 subscribers. Pretty much anybody that is following No Man's Sky at some point will have looked at the subreddit. It's a very active forum, and it's open to discuss any issues around No Man's Sky. There are rules that you have to sort of abide by on that forum, but that's normally to keep everyone on the straight and narrow, to keep things as pleasant as possible for everybody. So that's one that's is probably the biggest of the forum type sites out there. Another good forum and the fan site is the Explore NMS site. This is actually created by Cobra TV. Here fans can post short stories, their fan art, just anything about the game, have a chat about the game in general. It also has a linked Facebook group, and we'll come to other Facebook groups in a second. But if you prefer Facebook as your method of interacting with the community, then the Explorer NMS site also has a Facebook group where you can chat, post pictures on there, discuss your ideas, what you're planning to do in the game, and things like that. Another good Facebook group actually is the No Man's Sky community Facebook group. That's got now nearly 6,000 members in it, certainly at the time I recorded this video. Some really active members of that group again. People posting their creations. So there's a guy on there at the moment that's creating a model ship from parts from an Airfix model or something similar. I think it's from an old Battlestar Galactica model that he had, and he's just sort of like building that into his own No Man's Sky ship. Looks absolutely amazing. That type of forum is really great for sharing that type of things with the community, getting people involved in discussions around it, posting your ideas of what you'd like to see in the game, asking questions. All of these forums and groups are ideal if you've got any questions about the game. There's no stupid questions really. We were all new to No Man's Sky once. So don't be afraid to ask any questions. There's always going to be somebody that will have an answer or have a theory sometimes as to what the answer will be. Not something I use myself, but for those who are PSN users, there are a couple of really good PSN communities to join, ones that are quite active. The No Man's Sky Atlas is one, and Outer Edge No Man's Sky Community. Like I say, both of these are really active. They've got a lot of members in them. So, you know, if PSN communities are your thing, then check those out. You can just do a search for them in the PSN from your PS4. Like I say, not something I've used a massive amount. I tend to prefer using forums, you know, sort of via the internet and things like that. But they're certainly out there and really, really good. Actually, they have a lot of people discussing No Man's Sky all the time. So another great way of getting into the community there. And for those who like a more traditional outlet for their news, stories and opinions, then I'd highly recommend Galactic Observer as a website. I'm a bit biased here because I write for them, but in my opinion we've got some absolutely fantastic writers. There's a team of us now working on that site. We cover any news and videos that are released. We write opinion pieces, short stories. There's fan art on there that we've now started to display. Like I say, we've got a really fantastic set of writers on there. They're a really talented bunch, me aside, and we absolutely live and breathe No Man's Sky. We're always looking for new ideas, new opinions, new columns. So that is definitely a site that I would highly recommend people to go to. If they like to read an article, they might not have access to YouTube or something. You might be at work or something, you just fancy reading something a bit about No Man's Sky, in much like you'd read a magazine. It's a website magazine almost. Yeah, check that out. And with all of these, with all the channels, the websites, the forums, I will be providing links in the description below, how you can get access to all these. As I said before, this is absolutely not by any stretch of the imagination a definitive list. I'm more than happy if people want to post comments below to tell me that I've forgotten a site, to point people at other sites. Include the URL for those sites, that's absolutely fine. YouTube by default will automatically put those in my spam folder, but I check my comments all the time. If you post a link, the link won't immediately appear, but I will make sure that the comment is unhidden, so that everybody can see it. I want this to almost be a repository for people to be able to come to, and to be pointed, signposted if you like, to the sites that are going to be most useful to them. So by all means, if I've not mentioned your site, if I've not mentioned your channel, please post below, so that you can spread the word, and hopefully get people visiting and engaging with your community. Thank you.